You stand over your opponent, his body lifeless, seemingly drained of blood, because all the blood is everywhere. On the walls of the dungeon, the ceiling of the catacombs, on your hands, and especially on your face from all the mayhem. This seems to be a common occurrence, thus the name your comrades have given you, Slaughterhouse. Guys, today I present to you the Slaughterhouse Bleeder. Now, we've talked a lot about this on stream, how we've wanted to utilize some kind of template that has a two-handed axe. And I think I've found just the one. So with that being said, guys, sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's do some bleeds. Alright guys, as you know, we're going to start out with the template. First off, we're going to hit up anatomy. Anatomy for a 100 means more damage, bigger self-heals, res our friends, defense versus bleeds and diseases, and less chance to slip. More chance to perform finishers in our swords and parry codex. Tactics at 100 because we want to do damage. Duh. Swordsmanship at 100. Now this one's important because the entire build is built specifically for bleeds. Sword's melee special chance is bleed. Therefore, swinging this giant axe has a chance to give a bleed attack. Bleed damage is based off of total weapon damage. Therefore, since we are using axes, big boy Slaughterhouse bleeds. Chivalry at 100. Divine Fury will be left on auto for a 12% increase in swing speed. This leaves us with enough holy symbols to either Holy Light on emergency or increase our damage with Consecrate Weapon or Enemy of 1. Arms Lore at 80. Arms Lore helps increase the chance of weapon specials. Also with 80 Arms Lore we can disarm. At this point we also have enough of the select skills to apply Hamstring to our targets, which will work great in killing enemies in PvP or getting away in sticky situations. Parrying at 80, using a two-hander allows you to take advantage of the parry skill and parry codex. Rejoice in lower damage taken from both physical and magical spells. Healing at 80, because we gotta heal ourselves, right? Magic resist at 80. The ability to gain melee damage against creatures for 5 minutes that stacks up to 3 times. So basically, as long as you're fighting spellcasters, your damage is increased from this skill. You also have a pretty decent build now versus mage PKs. Now, here's the thing of note. Some people may change this out for tracking for a slight radar from PKs, or camping for increased weight capacity. Perhaps forensic for colored leather harvesting. If you don't mind not getting tier 7 in your codex, you could also use these 80 points to GM the skills that are at 80 and give chivalry or arms lore 120. Now for the codexes. As far as swords go, I found that flaying was just amazing. You can get up to 70% increased bleed damage if you get all the way up to tier 7. In theory, we should have plenty of bleeds on the target, so we're going to go with Execute as far as the finisher. This will almost obliterate them. Now for the parry codex. Shield Bash is a crowd favorite for those hinders, and then of course Last Stand is going to be used in most situations. However, with the parry codex, it's really hard to just pick one that is better than the others, as it's all very situational depending on the situation. However, as a general rule, Shield Bash is just a great one that you can just leave on and not have to worry about as much as the other ones. When we're talking about aspects, we've already kind of spilled the beans a little bit on it, but blood armor. The entire point of this build is to create bleeds. So obviously we want the chance to inflict bleed that blood armor gives us. Also at tier 14, you have 133 hit points. Shoot, even upon activation, you have 112. And then also, once the monsters go down to 50% hit points, your damage will be increased by 10% and then an additional 3% for every level you have in blood. Therefore, this really shines on bosses after 50%. Artisan Weapon, since the bleeds are based off of weapon damage, I wanted to grab Artisan yet again for the increase in physical damage, for more bleed damage. And it's a two-handed weapon. That increase in physical damage is that much more helpful with two-handeds. Obviously, you can switch out the weapon based on whatever it is that you like. However, Artisan, I just really felt the powerful difference when the proc would go off. When we're talking about mastery chain links, missing means no damage. So let's get our accuracy up as high as possible. I'm going with melee accuracy and defense. Get as many of these as you can to get your bracket player stats accuracy to 106-ish, which, by the way, thanks to Catastrophe for the info on accuracy. See this from Discord here to kind of know what I'm talking about, but then also I'm going to follow up on the links with melee swing speed. We're using a two-hander and the axes are pretty slow. Therefore, I really wanted the swing speed to increase, and melee swing speed links are the way to do that. Follow that up with melee special chance and special damage. The entire build is built around bleeding more. So the more of these you get, the more bleeds you're going to get. Therefore, increasing your execute damage and your flay damage and your bleed damage. And oh my gosh, it just goes on and on. Get yourself some melee special chance things. Then whatever is left with melee damage and ignore armor chance for even bigger physical damage. This template is actually a ton of fun. There's just something really cool about seeing that Gatling gun of hit points that are being taken away from the enemy as those bleeds just seemingly stack and stack and stack, and you just keep seeing -20 here, -30, -12, -42, -7, and then you hit and it's -200, and it's, I don't know, it's really fun, it's really cool, and you feel the slaughter, as it's called, the Slaughterhouse bleeder. Another really cool thing about this build is that blood aspect cores and extracts and all that, they're really not that expensive. So this is a great template for somebody starting out. It's very powerful. The codexes are going to be a little bit pricey, but you'll get over it. You know what I mean? You got to get those anyways. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. Thank you to the Patreons, the channel members, all you subscribers, and just all you guys. So make sure you like this video. That way I will continue to make more content. The more likes that it gets, then the more discoverability UO Outlands and this channel gets. So guys, thanks again. Pwn Star Gaming out.